a lot of people come into the creative game who, like all of us, have a differing degree of confidence about what they're trying to do. I'm just getting in because I just liked being a creative, and I'm a fun extrovert at heart. Whereas a lot of people come in and they're like, oh my God, I'm not such a fun extrovert. How do I really do this? Even though I'm passionate about something, how do I put myself online? I'm nervous, I'm shy, oh God, all these people I know are going to start following me, like all those trepidations about being a creator. So sometimes I see someone and I see him in the street or I see him online, I say, you would be great if you did this, because if you just, did this sort of video and you presented yourself like this, you will blow up. And the amount of times I say that to people is like every once a few weeks, I'll see someone, I'll meet someone, I'll see someone online and go, oh my God, if you just did this and made videos about that, you would blow up. Because I've seen it all before. There's certain ingredients about people and how they create that they will blow up.
Hey, welcome back to the pod. I have another awesome episode for you this week, right? So I've been interviewing content creators, but because I can only speak English, they typically are the English-speaking content creators within the Indonesian ecosystem, right? So I got Damian Hoo in the world. He is an Aussie, has, an Indonesian wife, and he travels around. He eats exotic foods. He does a lot of things though with his channel, and he started off as a YouTuber and he transitioned into Instagram and TikTok, right? And so I think one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to him is because he has just like this very engaging appeal when it comes to his content, right? So I think that's why the algorithm brought him to me a lot. But as I spoke to him, he is very insightful in the way that he thinks about and approaches monetization of his content while balancing the creative needs of himself and for his audience, right? So I think this is a great conversation with Damian. Can't wait for you guys to check it out. On to the episode. Hi, Damian. Welcome to the pod.
Hey, and thank you very much. This is great.
Yeah, so you are known as Who in the World on TikTok, Instagram, etc., correct?
Who in the world would have thought of that?
Yeah,
Exactly. Witty, hey? Catchy.
of course. So I think, can you start off by just kind of introducing yourself to everyone, right? And how would you describe your content?
Okay, well, I'm an Australian. I've lived in Southeast Asia for the best part of 15 years. I lived in Thailand, I live in Singapore, Bali, Jakarta. Maybe like for the past 10 years, I've lived outside of Australia. So my content comes from being an Australian, basically in Southeast Asia, being an Australian in Indonesia specifically. And basically my experiences with culture, travel, food, opinions, all sorts of things, even politics I've dabbled my content in. So I'm quite broad. I wouldn't say I'm a food vlogger. I'm a travel vlogger. I'm a lifestyle guy. I'm just, I guess, an Australian living here with a multitude of styles and opinions when it comes to content.
Yeah,
That's basically me.
I think I asked because when I look at your content, it probably came to me because I'm in like the food algorithm, but the more content that I watched, like, yeah, I don't think I could put it all in one particular niche. So it's interesting, to hear how you describe it. Okay, so you're Australian, but do you have Indonesian heritage, or is it your wife?
My dad is from Malaysia, and he came to Australia before I was born. So my mum is, I guess, white Anglo-Australian. My dad is Chinese, Malay, Malaysian mix, sort of. And then, yeah, I'm just, a product of that childhood. But I grew up in Australia, so that's my childhood.
So I guess part of why I'm asking is you do create a lot of content within Indonesia, around Indonesia, and you do speak. Maybe it's just my Bahasa is so bad, but I feel like you do speak decent Bahasa, right? And so I'm curious how you picked that up. Why you create a lot of content in Indonesia?
Well, on the language part, I wouldn't say I'm great. I wouldn't say I'm terrible. I'm just sort of able to get by with simple conversations. I learned that when I was living in Singapore. I started when I traveled to Indonesia a lot from Singapore. I used to just come, travel, learn, book myself into some schools, learn a bit. And then when I moved to Bali, I learned more. Um, it's amazing, sort of, I haven't really applied myself to it as much as I want. I learn from doing Instagram lives. Sometimes I just talk to followers online. Sometimes I learn from reading my comment section. And I learned from some podcasts as well. But, learning languages, for me, I've done it before. I've learned Thai, I've learned Spanish, I've learned other languages to an intermediate level. I have to invest a lot more time if I'm going to get successful. So why I made it about Indonesia? Well, I don't know. One video I made on YouTube 3 years ago sort of blew up, and it was basically trying exotic foods or exotic fruits in a market in Bali. And we tried a whole lot of exotic Indonesian fruits, and this video blew up on YouTube, and it was like, oh my God, well, I guess I just keep doing this content for a while. And then that has just led me 3 years basically to where I am now.
Awesome. So I want to dive in more into that moment.
Mm,
Right. So uh first off, was YouTube like your primary channel that you started with and then you grew to
yes,
Instagram and TikTok?
yes. I started on YouTube long, and I mean, I made an Instagram page, I made a TikTok page, but it was not targeted, or it wasn't, you know, specifically created for Instagram Reels or TikTok. I just made YouTube longs, and I like doing that. I was like making 10, 15, 20-minute videos once, twice a week, just about traveling and eating food and just experiencing Indonesia whenever I could. And I made these videos for about 6 months, and I grew to about 20,000 followers. And that was when I realized, oh, okay, I'm growing. I have a following on YouTube, and it's fun. That's where I was. But at the same time, I was learning creation through Naz Daily, Naz Academy. Are you familiar with that brand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Naz Daily, long story short, has an office based in Singapore, and I connected through them with a company called Grab. So Grab sponsored them to look for 100 creators in Southeast Asia to do a free program to learn how to create videos. And I was one of the guys of the 100. And then basically Naz Academy taught us for 6 months how to make content for social media, specifically short form content. And basically they said, if you're one of the best creators out of the 100, as in if you're on the top 8, we will offer you continuing contracts with Grab. So that's where I kept having to make short form. It was like, well, I better keep making this short form stuff, even though I just prefer making long form content. And I got to the end of that project with Grab and Naz, and they offered me one of the spots to continue as a creator. And I had to keep making short form content. So I was sort of pushed into it, really. And then it dawned on me. This is the moment, I guess, the tipping point where it dawned on me of like, okay, I'm having fun creating longs, and it's having my style. But then, I was inspired by other people, friends of mine, Lawrence Benson, who's in the cooking game, the food game in Indonesia, is very popular here. He said, oh, you should try getting a TikTok following. And I went, wow, TikTok, eh? Because he already had 1 million followers on TikTok. And I was like, TikTok, all right, let's go for it. So in October 2021, I made a strategy where I basically cut the sleeves off my batik. I put a cowboy hat on. I bought a cowboy hat. I made a brand of being a sort of wild, wacky foreigner with a shirt and a hat. And I just went around the street and made these short form videos, 1 minute, 1.5 minutes of me trying Indonesian food, reacting, and then paying for it. And I mean, these videos blew up, like millions and millions of views all the time. I basically went from 0 to 100,000 followers in 3 months. And these videos were just wacky journeys, authentic. I just go up to some random street food vendor selling chilok or something, and then I just GoPro vlog it, and then just interact, speak Bahasa, speak bad Bahasa, interact with the people, and then create a hook where obviously a storyline where people are waiting for whether I like the food or not, and how much did the food cost, and how much I paid. So like people stayed for those videos, and it was fascinating. The audience really responded to that.
Yeah, I think, I've definitely seen those videos and enjoy them. I'm curious, in this time where you're doing the Nas Daily and you're kind of getting into TikTok, right? Were you doing content full time, or did you have like a job that was paying your
Yeah.
bills?
I'd basically saved a lot of money from Singapore, and then I took on a job as a teacher here at an international school as well. So I was getting income coming in. I wasn't, it was just pocket money from Grab, and yeah, it wasn't. 2021 wasn't a money making year at all.
But it set the foundation, and then uh, I'm assuming you're a full-time content creator now.
I have had moments of being full time and moments of not. So for a few months, I did a contract with Grab. We traveled through Java, and they gave us a full 4 month salary, basically. But after that, I then took up a teaching job in Jakarta, where that was full time, and then I did part time content on the side. Since I've quit that job, I'm now full time, but I don't want to be. See, this is the thing. As a creative on my channel with my audience, the way I'm doing it, I don't want to be full time doing this, unless the brands are bigger, the money is stronger, and I'm, doing these sort of bigger projects. But at the moment, I'm doing smaller projects, higher volume, and there's no way I can creatively suffice wanting having to do this full time. Not at this stage. Maybe in the future.
At this stage, meaning because of the size of your following, or because your
At the size of the paychecks.
yeah.
See, my assistant basically acts as an agent, and anything that I get through restaurants or collabs and everything is all just like pocket money.
Yeah.
It's not something I want to base a salary on. I probably want to create a media business, and get money building a business about media, or even just do teaching full time and then use my part time, my spare time to create part time. Because I've learned as a creative, doing what I'm doing right now is incredibly exhausting. And
So
it's like not how I want to do my full time.
this is very interesting to me, because like this is the opposite of what a lot of the content creators that I talk to say, right? So it's I love hearing differing opinions, but I want to get into how, or like, why is it tiring for you, right? Is it the unsteady paychecks? Is it the creative process and creating content on a daily basis? Like, what is it that's exhausting to you?
Yeah, a mishmash of all of what you said. So unless I'm confirmed long-term brand deals, when I know, okay, I will get X amount a month per month for a few months, like that's good news. But if I'm doing one-off projects, two-off projects, where 1 month is strong, 1 month is not so strong, like I'm pushed to be creative for the sake of work. I didn't even get in this game. Remember, 2021, I got into this game as, I just want to explore my creative roots. So now I've gotten to this stage where I'm wanting to do more things for brands. Like I have to juggle that balance of creativity versus this is just a chore doing this. and now, I mean, I'm at the stage where I'm no longer wanting to just be creative for the sake of it. I don't really care for followers, views, all those vanity metrics of like, look at how many likes I got. Like some creators live on the dopamine injection of views and followers and don't make a cent, and they're happy like that. They just want followers and views. And look at me, but I have a full-time job doing something else. Fine, if that ticks your boat. But for me, I'm like, okay, I've gotten to this stage. I've got three-figure followings, 100,000, 200,000, 100,000 on all three platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And I'm like, well, I'm not here anymore for views, likes, and comments. I'm here to monetize these channels as best I can, but not exhausting myself in the process.
Gotcha. So it started out at a creative endeavor. Now you want to monetize. So and I understand monetization is very difficult and it's very hard to have a steady income from it, right? So what is it like? I guess, everybody has their why, right? What are you working towards, right? You had talked about like a media company, but there's got to be some reason why, because you still, even with this audience in the short attention span today, you got to create semi-regular content to stay relevant, right? And so if for you, you're feeling a little bit of a creative strain, what makes you, or how do you make sure that you keep pumping out content on a semi-regular basis with the same energy and impact so that you can get to that next level, whatever it is you're working towards?
Well, there's two things. I mean, my assistant who gets me job opportunities, I know that that's a good back scratch for me because, I get to make a content for a brand. I get the challenge of being employed for the day and go, okay, how best can I help you? Now, I take pride in my work because a company will say, all right, we want to use you for this project. And I'll go, okay, let's see how best I can get views for you. I really want to get views as best I can. So I go in and remember, because I can do so many diverse styles, I sort of assess the situation and go, okay, I think this will work for you. So that is a motivator because I'm mentally inspired to be creative in this aspect. Also, there's obviously a little bit of money involved, and that is an inspiration as well. I also want to juggle the fact that I'm well and truly aware that social media doesn't like a hard sell, and if I'm consistently doing branded content, my followers will become disillusioned in a way, and I'm well aware that I probably have done that to a lot of people. So I like to balance it with non-branded content that's authentic, just to say that, hey, I'm still here for you guys as a regular, and I also like making that content. I prefer, like, in terms of editing and process and uploading, I prefer making non-branded content because it's really authentic and it's 100% me. It's not pressure to do anything. But at the same time, branded content is important because it pays bills.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's what I feel like everybody, not everybody, but most of the content creators I talk to aspire to be that full time. You're saying, hey, you don't have to be full time, right? You can balance it with a full time job if you want, right? So that's an interesting balance to some of the conversations that I'm having.
Yeah. There's things you learn about being a content creator that you're like, okay, some people can monetize their channels and get big brand deals and sell shirts and sell, for example, you obviously asked Indonesian with Lauren, and her niche is specific. She targets foreigners to learn Indonesian. And that's a profitable industry because foreigners around the world are willing to pay for her course. And she can sit there on a laptop, make content all day, and bring in Western currencies as her profit, as her income. And that's strong. And that if I was Indonesian with Lauren, I would do that. That would be my main revenue. I'd love that. But, I'm a Westerner. If I want my Western money, I can just go to Australia and get my Western money, or stay here and do a job and get paid pretty well. and then just juggle creativity on the side, or, you know, start a company with my wife who, you know, sponsors me as an employee, etc. I'm not selling an Indonesian learning course to foreigners yet. But like right now, I need to think other ways to make money.
Got it. Yeah, and I think you do have multiple monetization channels, right? You have a merch line, you have a English lesson you do, and then you have your 3 channels with 6-figure followings, right? How do you think about monetizing? Like, is there one channel that you really want to push, or is it kind of like you've launched these and you're kind of like, let's just see what happens? What's the appetite?
Yeah, listen, being honest, YouTube is just doesn't make money. I'm a shorts creator, and the YouTube shorts market is very saturated and competitive, and to get views on that is very difficult. TikTok doesn't monetize unless you're in the creator fund and you're making millions of views. You know, Instagram is the best platform for me because brands can collaborate with me. They can actively see my content on their page. They can make Instagram collaborations. They can share links easy through stories, and it's just a better platform for monetizing. So I'm 100% all about Instagram, and if TikTok helps, sure. But YouTube Shorts hasn't been a helper for a long time. Like I used to make a few hundred a month on TikTok Shorts, YouTube Shorts when I was first starting, but like no, there's peanuts in YouTube Indonesia unless you're getting millions of views.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that because I wanted to build a business based off YouTube and ad revenues, but the CPMs here are just nowhere near what they are for the US YouTubers, which is
No,
very it to me it's a little bit disheartening because I think YouTube is such a powerful platform. So yeah, so one of my questions was going to be you prioritize Instagram, then you kind of use TikTok, uh, and then you have like YouTube a distant third, right? So that's kind of how you think about. Do you create different content for each of them, or are you just uploading the
same
same?
same thing. Yeah.
Got it. And then I want to kind of finish with one question about advice, right? So again, we mentioned Indonesian with Lauren. I did not know at the time that you guys are kind of mutuals, but like she said that you had messaged her and gave her some encouraging words and some advice, right? She didn't, tell me specifics, but it impacted her career in the way that she was thinking about content, right? If you are talking to a young content creator who might be, Damian Hoo 2021, 2020, right? Where you're starting to dabble, you're starting to look at a creative outlet, not really making money from your content. What kind of advice would you give that person?
Yeah, what advice do I give you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the Indonesian with Lauren story is I just saw a girl that was really passionate about teaching Indonesian, and you could see that she was really passionate about teaching it, but her content was pretty, not exactly super grabby. And I just told her that, like, if you did a bit more of this and if you focused on a bit more of that, and because you've got good personality, you got good understanding, good everything, and you've got drive and passion. So like if you keep going in that direction, it will work out for you. So I just told her to keep going in the creative learning direction that she was on, and she would figure it out. And like it's really cool seeing when she posts things like, her course is being bought by a lot of people. That's great because she worked hard for that. And like, a lot of people come into the creative game who like all of us have a differing degree of confidence about what they're trying to do. I'm just getting in because I just liked being a creative, and I'm a fun extrovert at heart. Whereas a lot of people come in and they're like, oh my God, I'm not such a fun extrovert. How do I really do this, even though I'm passionate about something? How do I put myself online? I'm nervous, I'm shy, oh God, all these people I know are going to start following me, like all those trepidations about being a creator. So sometimes I see someone and I see him in the street or I see him online, I say, you would be great if you did this, because if you just, you know, did this sort of video and you presented yourself like this, you will blow up. And the amount of times I say that to people is like every once a few weeks, I'll see someone, I'll meet someone, I'll see someone online and go, oh my God, if you just did this and made videos about that, you would blow up. Because I've seen it all before. I there's certain ingredients about people and the how they create that they will blow up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to just get a little bit more, right? Because I don't want, you don't necessarily have to spill all the secrets, right? But it sounds like from the way that you're talking, you recognize personality and talent, right?
Mm.
And then they don't have, because you have created a lot of content, you've consumed a lot of content, you understand what the hooks are, right? You understand that you need to maybe edit something differently. The pacing needs to be different. You need to, I don't know, but is this essentially what when you are talking to these people that you're saying, hey, like, you need to do more of like the illustrative editing so that people can visualize the words that you're saying? Like, is there anything like any example?
Totally. Like I talk about content creation like a good Vietnamese soup, right? If you just put the hot water and the noodle in it, is it going to be good? No. So you got to add all these flavors and types of meat and spices and vegetables, and they essentially stand for ingredients of the video. You know what I mean? Ingredients is everything. Have you got a good hook? Have you got a good storyline that people are willing to stay for? Have you, got good audio? Have you got good music? Have you got good sound effects? Have you got good lighting? And I mean, as a creator, like I'm always learning and I'm always thinking this will work, and sometimes it doesn't work. And you know what I mean? Like this is the creative journey we're on, but people don't know enough about the ingredients that they're cooking with. And they go into the kitchen and they just make hot water and noodle and eat it and expect people to like it. And then they don't know. And they keep learning. They go, oh, I got to put some chili sauce. And they just keep going on the process of learning to better their content so that people want to watch it. Because that's the number one metric. Out of all of the metrics, it's watch time. Because if people don't stay in your video, the algorithms don't push the video to more people. So if some follower, let's say, even if you're on 5,000 Instagram followers and you make a video that people are staying in, that can get potentially hit millions of views. Because Instagram reads it as, oh, popular with this 5,000 or this cohort of 5,000. Let's send it to the explore page. And next minute, you're on 1 million views. And this is the trick. This is the trick on social media too. Like people are deceived. Brands are deceived by followers. Oh my God, he's got 500,000 followers. If he makes a video for us and we pay him 20 million rupiah, this is going to get us business. This is the trick. Whereas like they may make a piece of content and it doesn't get traction. So it doesn't continue to grow. It only gets shown to a small percentage of his Instagram following, and then it falls flat, and that's it. Doesn't get continually showed. So he made 20 juta, and the views were crap. So people got to be stopping, get themselves deceived by follower accounts, because that is just a vanity metric now that you can use to your own leverage, of course, but it's a deception.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a industry-wide, global-wide issue that will take a lot of time to rectify. But I do love your analogy about making pho, right? The creative process.
You're making me. I'm making myself hungry talking about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Damian, it has been a pleasure talking to you. I have loved the insights. Thank you so much, and good luck with everything.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this platform to speak. Sometimes I come on these platforms and do interviews and everything. I don't know what's going on, but it's good because you're obviously quite insightful and focused about what you're trying to build on your project side. So I wish you well, and I'm happy to help if you ever need it.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the pod. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned some valuable lessons. We'll put links to all the social media down in the description. If you're an agency, don't forget to go to slice.id and sign up for a free trial, or hit me up, Jesse at slice.id, and I can give you a demo. Content creators, also, you can go to slice.id and check out what we have for you. Thank you so much. Follow us on social media. Join Slice on all the social media platforms. Thank you, and see you next time.